Okay, day 5? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Ooh. Okay, this is day number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess in honor of that, we're gonna in honor of that, we're gonna do 5 things I've learned since becoming a business owner. What are 5 things I've learned? I guess the first thing I learned, I don't know if I knew this going into it, but I learned that it is actually very similar to being a YouTuber. Because when you are a YouTuber, if anybody here, if you're curious about ever becoming a YouTuber, it's literally the same thing. You are your own boss. Um, a lot of things depend on you. Almost everything depends on you. Except in this case, in this business, if no one knows what I'm talking about, I currently have a new business right now called Yays, which is a crispy beef company that I created with 2 of my friends. How it's different, or what I sought out to make Yays different than my company before this one, when I just did full YouTube, which I started to learn towards the end of my YouTube, was more of like working as a team. When you're a YouTuber, you kind of just do everything on your own. It's like filming, editing, ideas, uh, like you're in it. That's all by yourself, and then eventually you get an editor, or maybe get 2 editors, or then you have a producer, and then you have other people that help you. But a lot of it still really relies heavily on you. That's the most similar part to having a business, but I think that's spread out a little bit more, while everyone still feels that kind of ownership. I think everyone feels the like pressure. Um, I guess it's confirmed. It's very much so the same exact thing. Running a business, YouTube business, very similar. So if you know how to run a business, you could probably run a YouTube channel. If you know how to run a YouTube channel, you could probably run a business. Um, Same thing. And what's number two? Second thing I learned from running Yays for the past, what, 2, almost 3 years now. Maybe it is exactly 3 now. Um, find out what you're good at and be really good at that, and let the other people that are really good at the other things do their things. um, I mean, that might just be my style of how I do things too. I like to make sure that, especially the people I work with for Yays, I look at them and I'm like, would I work for this person? And that's like saying a lot, because a lot of people I don't think in this world I would work for. It would take a lot for me to work for somebody, like a lot, like I don't know, like, and my partners, I could confidently say like, yeah, I'd work for them, like I'd do it because I believe in them, and as much as they believe in me, and I know they're like way better than I am at what they have to do than what I could do in that position. So that was one thing I learned. Number two. Number three, the third thing I learned from starting this business, which is amazing, honestly. It's quite the different trajectory than Ye's. It's not this like, I mean, than Ye's, than my YouTube channel. Actually, very similar but different. I don't know. I think it feels different for me because it's like I'm doing it instead of by myself. I'm doing it with like friends. And that in committing to doing crispy beef jerky, I didn't pick something like, so when I made Yays, I didn't pick something that I thought that my YouTube audience was gonna buy, or wasn't like the thing that drew me to making Yays. What drew me to making Yays is that, to me, it was something nostalgic for me, something that was personal to me, something that meant a lot to me for many different reasons. One, it's my grandma's recipe. Two, it's something I grew up with. Three, it's part of my culture. Four, it is different. But it's not something like, so for example, something I thought people, like if I were to make something solely that I thought people would buy, that makes sense for me, Marlon, that would probably be like a candy, right? Because before, everyone that used to watch me were way younger, and they love candy, like they love like crazy stuff I would make. That makes sense, right? Like a Marmar candy or something. But sometimes you can't just go fully for that, because for me, I wouldn't have my heart in that. I wouldn't be like, ooh, candy's my thing, and that's not the thing I want to share with the world. And so that's how I kind of like learned and picked what I wanted to make for this business, which is, it's still in the food world, because I knew I love food, and I just wanted to create something so unique that I could give people that delight and surprise reaction, which I do get when I give folies, and that really warms my heart. It makes me super excited, and that alone gets me out of bed and excited to go to events or excited to just carry Yays around with me. Yeah, so what's the fourth thing I learned from starting a business? It's okay not to know things. You can learn as you go. It just takes a lot of work and you got to be dedicated to it every single day. I think I was worried about not knowing enough things about business or knowing things, how to do certain things operationally, but you kind of just figure out those things as you go, or you have friends that help you or mentors, and just get going and doing it. Let's make number five juicy. What's number five thing I've learned since starting Yays? Definitely hard, but in a good way. I think in a very um, it's harder than I imagine it would be, but in a very satisfying way, if that makes sense. It's like the perfect amount of hard. It's very difficult because it's like it constantly tests you. You know, there's always people that are be in your ears going like, "Oh, this is never gonna work," and they're gonna say it's too expensive, or they're gonna say all these other things like, "Why do you think no one else is making it?" Blah 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 blah. No one's gonna buy it. This is too expensive of a number. But from what we've been able to do over the past 3 years, that's not the case. We've surpassed my expectations at least. I was like, wow, okay, that's very exciting. And that the funny part is like this isn't the most challenging thing in my life right now. I'm having more personal things that are really challenging that maybe I'll open up about in the future. I just don't know if I'm ready to talk about it right now. But Yays has just been. I wouldn't say it's hard, right? But it's not this thing that's making me depressed. Like it's not. It's probably making me the happiest man alive. That's my most joyfulest thing is my business. Like that makes me super happy. Um, the personal other stuff, that's just stuff that just life things. Um, and those are things that that come along and it's part of being a human. But yay stuff, like when you find a business that you're so excited about, that is what's keeping me going here. Like yays, working out. Man, if I didn't have those, I don't know I don't know where I'd be or what I'd be right now. I'd be like, oh, I'd be a mess. But now I have you guys, so I appreciate you for watching the 5 things I've learned since starting my company. Um, I hope to expand more if you guys want to know more about that. I forget how I'm gonna separate like the Yace channel and this channel and talk about work and stuff, but yeah, that's my main focus right now. So if you haven't seen me or you're confused by why I'm here or what I'm doing, that's what I'm up to right now. I'm making a beef jerky business, and I love just that because like I used to do this thing. This is a weird thing if you make it to this far in the video. I used to do this thing when I was younger, when I was like 23. And I was mildly successful on YouTube, mildly successful financially and stuff at this age already. And I would do this thing. I don't know why. And I realized later, this is might be too much information to be sharing anyways too, but I do this thing where I would like if I was at an event or at a party or something, and I just wanted people, I just wanted to see how people react or judge people. I just like watching them. I like watching that. And I used to do this thing where every time I met someone or like a girl that might be interested in me or something, I'd say, um, I'm a cashier. Because that was actually one of my first jobs. I was when I worked at Chipotle. I moved up to cashier within a month, um, which is or less than a month, like two weeks. My manager put me on cashier duty, so I would say this is long after I worked at Chipotle. I probably had well over 1 million subscribers, and I'd be like, I'm a cashier, in their eyes. I'd look at them in the eyes, and be like, yeah, I'm a cashier, because they'd be like, oh, everyone in LA, you don't realize it. Everyone in LA, when you go to any single party, everyone's like, oh, I'm a B2B SaaS like founder. I'm an influencer. I'm an actor. I'm blah blah blah. Everyone's is saying like all these. Everyone's just pitching themselves in a circle, right? And I'll literally look at somebody that like, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm a cashier, and like just watch the light burn in their eyes, like just like there's nothing there anymore. They just look completely through me. That was a really fun thing for me to do because some people like would just yeah they would just stop talking immediately. The conversation would just end. They would just be like lose complete interest. Like some people would just be like and actually ask me about it. Be like, oh yeah, so like how long you been doing that? And I'd have to like freaking make stuff up and you know and keep it going. And they were curious and I realized later, like, you probably don't want to attract, I guess, you want to attract nice people. That's the bottom line, right? You want to be friends with kind people all the time, right? But also, it's like, um, one of my friends was like, but also like, some people, you don't want to date a girl that would date a cashier. So I'm like, I guess, but so I stopped using that. But my new thing is like when I say like to people I meet, I'm just like, oh yeah, I run a beef jerky business. And in my head, it's a lot more than that, right? Yays is this like cultural phenomenon. This it's like delighting a customer. It's like this new technology of snack to me, right? It's way more than that. But sometimes I just say like, yeah, I run a beef crisp company, or like I run a beef jerky company, and a lot of times people like the light in their eyes just die, and I'm like, okay, and I just get a little baby like chip on my shoulder, and it makes me so excited. It makes me so excited because I'm like, oh, I'm so undervalued right now. I love it. I love it because I like when you try Yays and if you guys eventually, when I do release vlogs on it and you see the amount of work we put into Yays, like it's gonna make sense. Everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, of course, like they're this X, Y, and Z, in a year or two. But it's so fun to just have a. It's like I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm delusional and I see more than what they see in my business, but I'm just like, yeah, I like to see that sometimes. And some people really get it. Some people try it, or okay, that's not fair to say. I would say like they try it, then they get the vision. Some people would hear me and ask questions, and I can tell those people are pretty sharp because they'll like, they'll just like pick and pry and wonder like, why is this guy like making just snacks, and and they're asking questions, and they start to get deeper. I'm like, okay, this person's a little smarter. But some people, they're just like beef jerky. They're not there anymore. But yes, we've gone over on this video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I appreciate you if you're watching this wherever you are. I'll see you again tomorrow. Oh my God, day 6. I'm so excited. This is amazing. Thank you guys. Peace.